We're here for the start of the next match, and Steve, I want to ask you a little about this match. We have a unique situation here where we're actually combining weight divisions. Can you explain a little bit of the match as it's about to start?
Well, what they're doing to select their Olympic team is, because only 4 divisions can go to the Olympics, they're combining fin and flyweight, bantam and featherweight, light and welterweight, middle and heavyweight. And the blue player, Byung Charles, is a featherweight, while the red player, Kwon Tae-ho, is a bantamweight. They're both top players in their divisions, but it's going to be difficult for the bantamweight to compete against somebody that even has to lose weight to become a featherweight.
So we have an exciting match ahead of us.
But watch the red player's spirit. He's one of the best players in Korea today. He's got an attacking style. He doesn't like to back up. Actually, both fighters are very aggressive, offensively oriented players.
I see. It's more of a feeling out process at this time, or do these players know each other's game well enough?
Oh, they know each other well, sure.
As the fight unfolds, Steve, if you want to interject a little of your idea of some of the strategy that's being used or some of the mental attitude that players are conducting themselves, feel free.
Well, Byung Charles is always power and speed have been his advantages. But you can see he's very cautious against attacking Kwon Tae-ho, because Kwon Tae-ho is a very dangerous player, either going forward or moving back. He can score with either leg. And once he starts kicking, he doesn't stop.
It appears in this match that the judges may be looking for a little stronger point.
Just a little bit.
But it's a good practice time. It's a good practice time.
You know.
So we have a 0-0 first round in this important match.
I noticed that the referee gave superiority to the blue player in the first round. You won't see that on the scoreboard, but I can tell there's a superiority indicator on the jury table. That should be a point for blue. Yeah.
I can see now, as you were explaining earlier, that the red player is lighter and he is having a little bit more difficult time dealing with the heavier blue player.
Yeah, the power of Byung Charles is a problem for Kwon Tae-ho.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to practice with Mr. Choi this summer at the Olympic Training Center, and
Mr. Kim.
Excuse me, Mr. Kim, and he exhibited very superior technique.
Well, Byung Charles best aspect has always been the way he practices. He practices harder than anybody else. He's never made the national A team before, and I think he believes this is his chance this year. But he's got some other competitors ahead of him besides Kwon Tae-ho. They're going to give him a really hard time.
How old are these players?
Byung Charles has graduated from college. He's now in the Army team, the Sangmu team, and Kwon Tae-ho, I believe, is a junior this year at Kyunghee University.
Which is a physical education university?
No, it's a general university, but they have a taekwondo department. That should be a red point.
Now the referee center ref just gave a kyungo or a warning to the red player.
He's given him 2 now, and that's why that will be a deduction of 1 point for red. Also, he wasn't awarded a point, possibly because he was completely out of bounds when he counterattacked.
Right here.
Both players now have 1 point deduction each, and the score is tied at 1-1. Superiority has been given in the first 2 rounds to the blue player, but red can steal the game if he can score 1 more point. If the game goes out to its conclusion as a tie score, blue will win. But if red can score again, he can steal this game in the last 30 seconds of this match. Neither of those scored. That looks like Blue's going to kill the clock, and that's it. That's Blue's game. They'll give Red priority in that round, but it'll be 30-29. Watch. They'll give 10 Blue, 9 Red. 10 Red, 9 Blue. 29-28. Good job. This is the middle heavyweight combined division. Red, Park, Chong, C-H-O-N-G, boom, B-O-M, B-O-M, boom. It's a heavyweight match. Blue player is Yoon Sun Chol of the Sangmu Army team. Red player is Park Chong Bom of Hanguk Chede, Korean National College of Physical Education. Yoon Sun Chol was the 1989 world, the 1991 world champion in Athens, Greece, in the middleweight division.
The blue player. Fought Herbie in the semi. Steve, both these players are indeed middleweights, or are they? Have they had to adjust their weight to make the division?
Actually, they're both originally middleweights, right? They both compete in middleweight division.
And the Korean heavyweight will be going to the Olympics, not the middleweight. So therefore they are moving up in weight.
Exactly. They're both they're competing for the heavyweight slot.
I see. They're both very tall for Korean players. How strong do you feel this division is for the Korean national team?
It's traditionally their weakest division. They haven't won a gold medal in the heavyweight division in a world championship since 1983, since the '83 World Championships in Copenhagen.
And that warning by the ref there, where he put his finger to his mouth as if he was telling someone.
Hand signal. It's used in this case for a number of infractions which all come under unsportsmanlike conduct. One is intentional falling after.
And the signal is a straight finger to the lips, as in telling someone to be quiet.
Exactly. I don't know what these little kids are doing. Unless that's women. I thought they were little kids.
Starting the second round, we have a 1-1 tie with the orange dot above the red. Would that be?
That just signifies that he's received one warning, and one warning has no effect on the score or on superiority. A second warning will bring a 1-point deduction. But when I look at the jury table, the superiority was given to the blue player in the first round.
They gave him that point, it looks like. Kind of snuck that one in, it appears.
It wasn't that powerful of a technique, but it landed directly in the center of the scoring area of the body armor without any impediment whatsoever. It was a very clean technique. If, for instance, if the blue player would have partially blocked that technique, it would have had to have been a much more powerful blow to gain a point. But because there was no block whatsoever, the blow landed squarely in the middle of the blue scoring area. He was given a point.
A lot of action happening, just missing the points. Very close match. 2-2 at the end of the second round.
Complaining that he wasn't given a point, that his player wasn't awarded a point. He's asking for verification. A kyungo for unsportsmanlike behavior. That was a damaging warning because he already had one warning, and that warning resulted in a 1-point deduction of his score. Superiority was given to the red player in that match. That means we have a dead even match. The score is tied, and each player has won one round on superiority.
The third round will be the telling round in this fight.
That should be a point for blue. Nope, it wasn't awarded. Blue has to be careful. He's going to draw a warning for grabbing.
How much pressure on these players today, Steve?
Well, this is for a spot on the Korean Olympic team, and since Olympic Taekwondo is a doubtful thing until at least the year 2000. This is a historical team trial game for Korea, for any country. This is the last time that Taekwondo will be in the Olympics for sure. It's possible that after the year 2000 it may be included, but as far as these players are concerned, that's too far. It's too long to wait. This is their chance.
Steve, how do you call this fight? High score going into the third round?
I think blue came closer to scoring a point in that round there. I think the superiority should be given to blue. But let's see what the referee does. The referee awarded that game to red on superiority. The red player, Im Chang-sup. Red players from the Sangmu Army team, and the blue player is from Hanguk Cheukdehak, the Korean Physical Education College.
Now, both these players are flyweights, natural flyweights, or are they trying to move up in the division from finweight?
I believe they're both natural flyweights. That fly is their natural division.
Oh yes, I recognize the red player. He fought as a finweight this summer against Juan Marino in a demonstration fight at Colorado Springs, Colorado.
The blue player's specialty has always been double kick. He can attack with double kick and he can receive with double kick. That should be a point for both players.
Now, Steve, when you say double kick, do you mean two kicks with the same leg, or what do you mean by double kick?
I mean kicking with one leg and then the other leg while in the air.
Very difficult technique.
Very, very, very difficult.
They gave the red player 1 point, so we have a 1-0 fight.
It was on that exchange earlier where red did jump spinning roundhouse kick. I thought blue received the technique and countered it, but apparently there was a lack of power.
We have a 1-1 score now. We awarded blue the point. Red is bleeding. We sure see the difference in speed of the kicking of the lighter weights compared to the heavier weights. So tell us, Steve, today they're fighting the round robin format, and then will they fight a championship fight tomorrow? Is that what we're looking forward to?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work, Scott, if they're going to eliminate it down to 2 people and then have a final game tomorrow, or if they'll just take the one with the best record at the end of the round robin system.
Both these fighters seem to exhibit both an offensive and a defensive style. What do you feel the coaches were telling them in between the round?
It's hard to say, but I think the blue player has a speed advantage, so I expect that his coach will tell him to attack this round a little bit more. I think he exhibited the superior style in the first round, so he'll probably be a little more confident this round to attack.
I see by the jury table that blue did receive the superiority in the first round.
That was a triple kick by blue. Actually, one foot hit the ground before all three kicks were delivered, but
we have an equipment problem here, it appears. Yes, the blue player's Hogu became untied. Give them a minute to catch their breath. Not much of...
Did you catch that, Tony?
Oh, that was amazing. This being the Korean national sport, we're seeing the cream of the crop here today. Correct, Steve?
Yeah, these are all the players who have qualified for this tournament by winning one of several qualifier tournaments in the past 6 months. That will be a red point. Yeah.
For the face kick.
Well, they didn't score it.
Once again, the scoring system, we need to see 2 of the judges concur on the point for it to show on the scoreboard.
2 of the 3 judges have to press the same button within a 2 to 3 second time interval in order for a point to be recorded on the scoreboard.
How long has this scoring system been in effect?
This was just developed last year, and I'm not sure if it's been used internationally yet or not. Maybe you could tell me about that, Scott.
As of the World Championships in Athens, Greece in October of '91, they were the standby for judging format. Red just was awarded a point. We have a 2-2 tie now in the second round here, and there's some exciting action. Do these players really dislike each other, or is it?
No, it's just a matter of spirit. I mean, it is a full contact sport, and it is a fighting sport, and in order to be successful, you have to have a fighting spirit. And you can call Taekwondo a sport, but after all, what they are doing is fighting. It doesn't have anything to do with personal animosity. It has to do with the desire to do your best.
Very exciting second round here in the Finn flyweight division.
You fucked up crowd.
Very important third round. Very important third round. Both players know they're going into the third round with a tie score. It appears that blue still has superiority. One point may decide the match. One of these fights will do that.
There's no point. There's no sense.
We just want to hear it on camera.
But see, that's not something that I'm comfortable to do unless I practice.
This is where you practice. Like I said, we're on 2 channels.
You'll play that for some Korean and American will laugh his ass off. What? What's this fool talking about?
If you were the red player's coach, what would you be telling him, Steve?
Well, I think this is only the second round. Oh, this is the third round. So he definitely needs a point because he knows he's behind in superiority. So just an aggressive style isn't going to do it. He has to find a way to get his foot on the hogu, or better yet, to kick the head. And I think that's what he's looking for. I think he's looking for a chance to kick the blue player's head, because that's the most obvious way to get a point. He tried a little while ago with that sneaky slide-in lead leg attack to the face, but he just barely missed. Red can feel it slipping away. His timing just isn't there.
You may be getting frustrated at this point.
Yeah, blue definitely has the red player's timing figured out. That's why blue isn't attacking.
Oh my gosh, red just received the point for that spinning roundhouse. And we have 30 seconds of action left.
Red just stole the game. That's it. Because red will be able to kill 30 seconds time without too much trouble. Red received the warning, but even if red gets another warning, which is a full point deduction, he'll still win because he scored the most points. Now you see red's just killing the clock.
Oh, they awarded red a point and blue a point on that exchange. So now we have a 4-3 score with 6 seconds left. 5, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Red literally stole that fight.
That was a mistake. That was a bad mistake by blue to chill out in the third round. Bad mistake. Because you don't chill with a tie score. He got too confident. This is bantam featherweight combined division. Blue player is Nam Hak Hyun of the Sangmu Army team. The red player is Kang Chang Mo of Donga University. Kang Chang Mo was the 1987 flyweight world champion.
This is a feather lightweight division.
Bantam feather. Kang Chang Mo, the red player, does everything well, but his specialty is probably his back kick. He counters with back kick very strongly, and he attacks with back kick very well. As you just saw, he was awarded a point for drawing the red player's roundhouse kick and countering with attacking back kick.
Are the judges giving equal distinction to the offensive versus the defensive style?
It doesn't matter whether you're attacking while moving forward or attacking while moving back. In other words, countering. What matters only is the amount of power that you strike the body armor or the head with. That's the determining factor, is the amount of power in the blow.
Taekwondo is a kicking style. I see punching is infrequent in the matches. Do they score the punch now? Or?
They do, but it has to be very accurate, right to the center of the body protector, and very powerful. You have to show You have to show some displacement of your opponent's body. Punching is called for in the rules. You can be awarded a point for it, but it was very infrequent until recently. Recently, punching has become more fashionable, and I predict that in the next several years, punching will become a much more important aspect of the game.
Okay, Steve, tell me who the blue player is again.
Nam.
Red player.
Kang. K-A-N-G. Chang. C-H-A-N-G.
C-H-A-N-G. Played by that red light. Okay, we're starting the second round of this Bantam featherweight division fight. The score is now 1-0 for the red player. I would expect to see blue maybe come after him a little bit this round, Steve.
Yeah, definitely. The advantage is reds. Anytime you have an advantage in the score, you can dictate the pace of the game. There's still a lot of time though. 2 rounds is a lot of time. There's no reason for either player to rush at this point. Guy when he won, he ran up and shook the hand of the guy sitting in the center chair up there behind us. So bad. It's like a lot of people don't understand the science of the game of Taekwondo. It's much like the game rock, paper, scissors. There's an answer for every attack, and there's an attack for every counter. It's logically a very systematic game. The pieces all fit together like a puzzle. These players are usually thinking at least 2 techniques ahead, sometimes 3. In other words, if I do this, my opponent will probably do this, and I'll do this. It's a game of probabilities.
Okay, Steve, we're going into the third round of this fight. We have a 1-0 score for red. What does that mean in terms of the blue player's mentality? Does that mean he has to score 2 points this round?
Well, I see that the superiority has been split, 1 for each player. And that's because in the last round there was no score. Blue came closer to scoring, so was given the superior mark by the referee. But I expect both players to come out strong this round. As you saw in the last match, you can lose a game very easily by by taking your time and by playing too conservative of a game. I expect Kang Chang-mo, the red player, to try and score again. Blue has to make up 2 points, so he's definitely going to be attacking this most of this round. Cautious. This is a bad strategy for the blue player. He's hoping to score 1 point and to win the game by superiority, but that's a dangerous game. That's a dangerous strategy. On the other hand, red can't be sure that if this game goes down to a decision that he'll win if blue player scores at only 1 point. So he has to be thinking score another point.
Red turned it up a little bit in that.
That's how to get superiority in the match too. That's how to impress the judge. The most, in the absence of any points, the most near scoring situations that you create, that helps you to gain superiority.
Okay, we don't have a point for the blue player.
No, it's
Red's game. Red is the winner.
Song, S-O-N-Z.
Red is
Ha,
H-A.
yeah, T-A, Kyung, K-Y-U-N-G.
I recognize the red player as being the welterweight victor at the recent United States Open Taekwondo Championships held in February in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So he's coming off a victory in the United States. Let's see what he has against his Korean opponent. Interesting story on Ha Tae-kyung. He was the flyweight gold medalist, is that correct, Steve, in the 1988 Seoul Olympics?
Right.
And now he's moved up to the welterweight division. Do you want to comment on that?
I talked to him last night a little bit, and I asked him if he'd grown any taller, and he assured me that it was just the mousse he'd put in his hair that made him appear that way, but that his body was felt very strong at welterweight. He had a lot of endurance and obviously a lot of power. It was very hard for him to make that flyweight division, even though it was 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, 4 years ago now.
I see he was awarded a point in that last exchange with a body kick. Made a loud sound.
Yeah, you can see he has a lot of power at welterweight. Ha Tae-kyung's style has always been a very patient one. He's not a very busy fighter. He doesn't have a high output, but his percentage is very high. When he kicks, he usually always gets a point. He's got a very good eye for the chance. He knows the chance to kick, and he doesn't waste a lot of energy. He's a very talented athlete. I mean, his techniques are very acrobatic.
Oh my gosh, he just took a kick to the face.
That should
Will they
be-
score it?
yeah.
They scored that point. So he made a little mental mistake there,
Well,
Steve, maybe?
Lately he's made his stance a very low, deep stance, and
It appears he's the bigger of the two fighters.
he is a little bit bigger. They're both originally lightweights. I think Taekyung now has actually grown into the welterweight division, but the other boy does compete normally at the lightweight division. But the weight factor shouldn't be a big one. The height is a little more important between these two, I think. I think the speed and power advantage definitely is Ha Taekyung's though.
Or
You can see though that he's straightened his stance up a little bit. He's not down in that low stance like he was in the beginning of the first round. That's how he was caught in the face by the blue player.
And we're coming to the end of the first round. 1-1 is the score in this exciting light welterweight division here in Seoul, Korea at the Kukiwon, the headquarters for the World Taekwondo Federation.
And here we are to find Dane's
Start of the second round with Ha Taekyung in the red and Park Uisong in the blue. It's a 1-1 score. Let's see what's in store for us in round two, Steve.
I know Taekyung doesn't like getting kicked in the face, and I have a feeling that he's going to try and get that point back very quickly here. You can see he challenged the back kick right away. He definitely has a speed advantage over the blue player.
Do we see many knockouts at these national Korean championships ever?
Very, very few. The caliber of the players is such that while they may score solid kicks to the face, it's very difficult to catch somebody with the speed and power it takes to make a knockout. That's an indication that the levels are all very close, the skill levels.
Well, we definitely are on the cutting edge of Taekwondo here today. Second round is starting out a little bit slow. We've gone a minute into the round. You can see the intense concentration on both players' faces as they try to figure one another out.
That kind of lead is called a cut kick, and it's very popular because it's a very safe thing to do. It's very difficult to counter. You can't get a point with it, but the intention is not to score a point. The intention is to make your opponent back up and lose his position, lose his confidence, do something, in other words, make him do something that you want him to do. Usually that will be followed by some second or third offensive technique. Close. Very close, but
Tried.
there was no sound, and it was partially blocked by Ha Taekyung. Again, the cut kick, and he's looking for blue player to become out of position so that he can attack safely. Ooh, that was close too.
The blue player is doing very well against the red player in this round.
Considering the blue player was the red player's junior in college, and red graduated, Ha Taekyung graduated from college this year, but I'm sure they know each other's styles intimately. And as is usually the case in Korea, the junior often doesn't fight with confidence against the senior. But now that Taekyung has graduated, it may be a different story. The same loyalties don't apply, the same sense of family. Blue's under no obligation to take it easy, if you will, against his college senior.
We're rolling down to the end of this match. We have 10 seconds left. Let's see if either player will try to pull a point out in these last few seconds.
This is only the second round. There's one whole round left.
Okay, we're ending the second round, and the score is 1-1. It appears that red has received superiority in the last two rounds. So if the score remains tied, red will come out the victor. Now we're into the third round, starting the third round of this match. I have a feeling both players are going to turn up the volume a little bit, so to speak.
Neither one of them wants this to come down to a decision by superiority, especially Blue. He's, you know, his survival in this match depends on scoring a point. That's what all his energies are going to be directed towards. Red, if he's too conservative, he could have this match stolen from him. He doesn't want this match to come down to a decision on superiority either. They're both going to do their best to score a point as quickly as possible.
When Blue checks like that, is he attempting to throw the timing off of Red a little bit?
A little, and he wants to see what Red's response is going to be. He can see by which foot Red places his weight on, whether he wants to counter with the lead leg or the back leg, and that will give him some clue as to what his attack should be. If he checks and sees that front foot come up off the mat an inch or two, he knows that Red is just waiting to counter with the lead leg, and he can figure out an appropriate response to that.
Once again, we are in the third round of the light welterweight division. Blue just got his foot on Red's Hogu. Will they give him a point?
No.
Let's watch. No point.
passed.
No point. Interesting. Every fight that we're watching today, ladies and gentlemen, is very significant in the fact that we are determining the Olympic Taekwondo team for the
That's
Korean.
a point. That'll definitely be a point.
Yes, Red did receive a point.
Not really.
We're winding down the third round. Red is in the lead 2-1 over the blue player, Park Yui-sung.
Let's see this Red's doing.
Okay, Ha Tae-kyung won the fight. And possibly later we'll get a word with some of the players that do become victorious today. Steve, how do you rate Blue's overall or Red's overall performance in that last match?
Well, he was a little too conservative. It's one criticism I have of Ha Tae-kyung, because he's got great tools. He can do anything he wants. And I personally would like to see him have a little more active style, a little more active game style. But he's successful, he wins, so maybe that's not a valid criticism, I don't know.
Okay, what is the next fight we have, Steve? What is the next fight?
This is heavyweight. Blue player is Kim Jae-kyung, the Seoul Subway team.
Okay, we have the heavyweight fight here. The red player, Steve, you mentioned earlier, actually competes for the Seoul Subway Company. Would you want to explain a little bit of how the Koreans break down their Taekwondo players from young ages on up through the levels, much similar to the way our baseball or professional football is in the United States?
Well, you can't really make a comparison with professional sports in other countries. the red player competes for the Seoul Subway team. There are 4 or 5 so-called professional taekwondo teams in Korea. What these teams are basically is just a place for players to go after they graduate from university where they can continue to compete. In other words, pretty much all they're provided with is a small salary so that they can pursue their training, maybe a housing stipend, but generally they live together. The Subway team has some housing facilities for the players. Some of the other professional teams are the Hyundai Motor Car Company has a professional team. The Crown Beer Company has a professional team. And the Sorak Mountain Cable Car Company also has a professional team. I expect as time goes by that more of these professional teams will come into existence, but as it is, it's just a place for players to go after they graduate from university that want to continue to compete seriously.
It appears that both these competitors are from the same school, which would be Chede University. As you can see, there's no coaches in the coaching chair. So they are teammates. Let's see how hard they fight and how much they want it. Blue tried a face kick and missed it.
선수 대기실로 내려와 주세요. 알려드립니다. 제10회 아시아 태권도 선수권 대회에 참가했던 선수 이름부터 알려드립니다. 선수 이름들은 내일 11시 30분에 해단식이 있습니다.
Nice little exchange with Blue taking advantage of the Red's off-balanceness. Red going to the canvas. He gave Blue a point in that last exchange. We have a 1-0 fight now for the Blue player. Nice mutual exchange there with no points scored, but it was pretty to watch. Even though both these players are teammates, they seem to exhibit a desire to win, and they're getting after each other. This could be one of our exciting fights of the day. Blue received a warning for grabbing. We have a minute left in the match. Push kick by Red put Blue to the ground, but no point was awarded by the judges. A little bit of grabbing going on. The referee didn't catch that. Nice double kick out of the exchange by the Red player. The Blue player is attempting to figure the timing out of this red opponent. Very nice exchange in the corner here. Our famous cameraman Tony Campo got that. And the end of the round number 1 with Blue leading 1-0. In 1-0.